It all started when I landed in Canada in 2009. I wanted to get people's attention. I wanted to be noticed. Well, since I'm a kid, I've always wanted to be really famous. I just didn't know how and what path I'd have to pursue to reach that goal. For example, a few weeks before I left for Canada, with a group of friends, we started making rap music. We were called RAS, meaning Rap Academy Squad.
Pour ça, ils frémissent, tous leurs sens sont ébranlés. Le style, le cash, le feeling, il y en a trop.
I thought music was the way for me to get people to notice me and get me famous. But little did I know, videography and photography is where my passion really belongs. I'll take you to this journey. I landed in Toronto late 2009. If I had a good memory, it was between Christmas and New Year's period. Part of the reason why I wanted this documentary to be released on the 31st of December. I was there briefly. I had a good time, nothing crazy. I was still young and adapting to the new environment, especially the really, really cold weather. Like, my goodness, it was cold. Then the following year, I was seeing myself enjoying my summer in Montreal before life brought me to Ottawa to pursue my studies. As soon as I got to Ottawa, believe it or not, I felt depressed. Trust me, I was asking myself, why did I have to be here? It was so boring. All my friends were in Toronto and Montreal, but luckily for me, I had my cousin Clovis, who was here with me. He supported me, we supported each other, and we quickly made friends. A few weeks after adapting to the city, my cousin and I started our own reality TV show called Ketchupi Life. It all started randomly. We had a basic camera and we were just shooting anything we were doing that we thought was cool. Then I just felt like doing a simple collage of videos so everything was just in one clip. It's at that moment I realized that I was in love with editing videos. From there I dropped my first video, which was the first episode ever of Ketchupi Life. I was really surprised by how good the response was. My friends from back home, in France, Montreal, Toronto, and the few new friends I acquired here too in Ottawa were all sharing, liking, and commenting on the video. Trust me, I felt right there I was on the path of being famous. I created something, and people reacted to it. All I wanted was to create more and more and more until I don't have to introduce myself.
Et toi, grandi, je crois bien intelligente. Elle oublie que cette époque, elle aimait que je lui demande de baiser sur le cocotier des pédales. Moment intime à l'arrière du garage. Le poste, ça d'avant me sortait dans le soir. Elle me dit qu'elle ne veut plus le voir, qu'elle en a marre de moi, de mon style à deux balles. Elle a trouvé mieux une histoire de b-boy. Puis sur le choc, elle me choc, elle tu ne vois pas. You start choc. Pour le fric, t'as choisi de me quitter. Alors par cœur, par idée, l'image me donne pour garder mon sang-froid. Trop de haine, de rage, de force, de Netflix. On excite. Ma voix, je ne veux pas plus, je m'en tabarnak. Tabarnak, 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 tabarnak. Oh, la 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 la. Oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Hey.
As you can see in the previous clip, I was having a good time with friends, dropping some bars. The rap in me was never gone.
Yeah, freestyle session, part 1. This is gonna be like every day starting today. Snyder, yeah man. Okay. Appelle Corneille, je suis le monde, je vis des choses immondes sur cette terre qu'on dit ronde. Donne-moi 2 secondes que je puisse te raconter ma vie de tous les jours qui passe pas sur les zones. Check cette blonde, oh oui qu'elle est ronde, qu'elle est bonne, qu'elle est douce, oh oui que je bande.
From shooting music videos for them and hanging out with them, I was finding myself in between wanting to make music or focusing on videography and photography. Sometimes we had those freestyle sessions where you feel like you are the shit and you can actually make it into the top. I remember even hosting rap freestyle sessions. However, I kept shooting. I started catching people's attention, and the more and more I was shooting, I was improving my editing skills. As a result, my videos were of better quality. Then I was still a cheerful giver. I wanted to show my work to the world. Every opportunity I had to shoot, I was already ready. Anyone that needed my services in videography or photography was always getting them for free. That moment, because I was just wanting exposure, and I didn't mind because I loved doing it. And for me, I was getting more content to play with. One day, everything changed. I received a phone call from my friend Shamir. He advised me to never, ever again offer my services for free. He told me I could start charging low prices and slowly increase later. Well, he didn't have to tell me twice. I started applying it right away. I got a few clients willing to pay and lost the clients that wanted to keep having the service for free. Slowly, I made a name for myself, and I was getting booked for my services. Doing all this, I was still a student. I was still going to school and making sure I had my grades on point. That was the main reason why I was in Canada in the first place, so I could not even play with that. At Carleton University, I was part of the one engineering student club called SDE. I was required to throw a party in clubs downtown Ottawa for students. My first thought was to contact DJ Ambitious, who was one of my closest friends at the time. I met him through a dance project where I worked with other young talented people. He quickly got back to me with some ideas. We came up with a name and promo strategy. That was the first party ever I was throwing in a club. The party was called Flawless, and it was a big success. It happened inside Discoteca on Dalhousie Street in Ottawa. You can't even imagine how I felt when I saw the club was full. I was feeling so proud. Like, think about it. A simple Benin boy coming to Canada's capital to shake the club scene up. Something you have to know too is that before my first event, I was already familiar to the nightclub scene. I was booked for a couple of nightclubs events to take photographs. From those pictures I was taking and posting on my Facebook fan page, I was getting more and more followers on the daily. I was low-key building a fan base. All this is my quest of being famous. Well, it was all nice and all, but I needed to do more to reach more people. I was already bored. I needed a new challenge. I then started working on a movie called IKU with my friend Cindy. She came up with a script. We did an audition at the University of Ottawa. We selected a few people and shot the movie. I was really proud of this project and how people were involved in making it happen.
Tu m'es timide.
In the meantime, I'm still hosting parties here and there in Ottawa and in Montreal. Sold out parties just became normal to me. Hosting a party that was not sold out was considered a failure to me. And when those ones happened, I was always thinking about maybe it was time to stop. But then there was always an energy just convincing me to keep fighting. Eventually, with Ambitious, we came up with an idea of having an African night, one club downtown every Saturday in Ottawa. This is how I started working with Slim and Monday. At the time, I didn't know that Slim would become one of my best friends, if not the best. If you have been to Multi-Social Room back then on Saturdays in the basement, you know what I'm talking about. We did numbers. Our work was not unnoticeable. Other clubs and promoters were paying close attention. Sean from Flybar then contacted me so we can work on a way to make the Saturdays an African night. We moved from Multi-Social Room to Flybar and called those Saturdays Swanky Saturdays. We had some crazy good numbers. And little did you know, the partnership that me, Sean, and Slim would grow on even more. I really had a chance to meet great people and make a name for myself. You know, in this world, when you get an opportunity to create, it's probably one of the greatest blessings you could ever imagine, because you go from always wanting to hear from somebody, but then you have the chance to create your own image, create your own stuff. So for example, I had self-taught myself how to create flyers, how to take pictures, how to edit. Therefore, I could book myself and not wait for somebody to book me, which was crazy. And then In the meantime, my parties are slowly becoming the craziest thing you could ever imagine. Everything, like I just said, everything that we did was sold out. And I had the chance to become best friends with Slim. I pointed it out, but I really want to go into details of that. Pretty much, I met Slim through DJ Ambitious, and we linked up, and we just started taking over Multi-Social Room. And like I said, from there, we became great friends, and we started to bring artists. Our first artist that we brought was Jim Ike, a Nigerian comedian. From Jim Ike, we then brought Ray Shremmerd. We then brought Claremont Twins. We brought NASA. We brought VJ Dream. And that's just to name a few of the artists we bring. And that really changed everything for me once again. So now we're talking about development. So now I went from not being known to being probably the biggest promoter in the city, but also the biggest photographer and filmographer in the city. And to me, that was just crazy. So it's crazy because I went from being unknown to being known for my videography and for also my photography and just editing videos and being able to take great pictures for the community. And now getting connections with the artists was just another level for me because now I get a chance to connect with these artists. My goal has always been to be famous, and what perfect way to be famous when you're around famous people. My parents, I can't thank my parents enough. Listen, for them to send me to Canada for my studies, which was the number one priority. School education is really important, is the first thing, and I can't let that go because without education, we wouldn't be where we are today. It's because of education I've had the opportunity to adapt and learn different skills really, really quickly. My parents supported me through thick and thin since the beginning of my journey. They never lost faith in me, and it's just amazing because I've been able to just make a name for myself. I also want to talk about my little brother, DJ MSH. I had the chance to lay the blueprint for him because I was here first, and then he came and joined me when he was ready to pursue his university studies here in Canada. He's a great DJ. I've seen him come from the bottom all the way to where he's at now. And it's just something about the family blood where when we want something, we get it. We learn, we adapt. And to see his improvement from where we started, I've always rocked with my little broski, and I've tried everything I can to give him the best opportunities. All of our parties, he's out there, he's doing what he loves to do. And most recently with what we're doing at X Lounge, that's his base, that's what he does, and he's getting his own following. And just to see him being the man that he is also helping me become a better person, a better big brother, and just being more successful, because if I can be successful, then that means I can also show somebody how to be successful, and I'm slowly learning how to do that. This whole end of decade was just crazy for me. I've seen my life transform. Now that we're going on 2020, I just want to thank everybody who's been with NP PROD, with me and Slim. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, 2020 is really going to be our year, but also our decade. I want to thank you guys so much. I want to wish you guys a happy new year.